When a big actor stars in a movie, you usually can't move for their likeness pasted all over posters, buses, internet ads, promotional cans of Pepsi, and blimps. Maybe. Don't know about that last one, actually. As a result, you can't help but know the cast of a big film before even buying a ticket. And this oversaturation of actor face makes it incredibly exciting when you're watching a movie and out of nowhere, a huge name rears their mug, causing everyone in the audience to simultaneously utter, "Wait, that guy's in this?" I'm Ben from What Culture, and here are 10 actors who hid that they were in famous movies. Number 10. Matt Damon, Interstellar. The hype surrounding Interstellar's release was massive. Not only did it have Christopher Nolan at the helm, but starred a recently Academy Awarded is that the right way to say that? Matthew McConaughey. However, kept off all promotional material was one Matt Damon. His character was frequently referred to throughout the film, but nobody had any idea who'd be playing him, making his sudden appearance immensely exciting and causing everyone to exclaim, "Hey look, it's Greg Kinnear's conjoined twin!" Number 9. Johnny Depp, 21 Jump Street. It's fair to say the Jump Street franchise is now adored by an age demographic that veers towards the younger end of the spectrum and who might not be aware of its origins. Originally an 80s TV show starring a then rising Johnny Depp, many original fans wondered if he might make a cameo in the rebooted film, and he did. The film's final act revealed that one of the biker drug dealers was in fact an undercover cop played by none other than Depp. To those new to Jump Street, it's great because, hey, it's that there Johnny Depp. But for those old enough to remember the show, it's further proof that Lord and Miller were the right choice for directors. Number 8. Bruce Willis, 4 Rooms. Oh man, remember 90s era Tarantino? Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, Jackie Brown, True Romance, Natural Born Killers? Oh, and 4 Rooms. What's that? You don't remember 4 Rooms? It was a comedy anthology based on the works of Roald Dahl featuring 4 shorts directed by up-and-coming directors of the time, Tarantino included. So there you go. Tarantino's entry, Penthouse, sees a cocky film director. I wonder where he got the inspiration for that from. Instigate a sadistic twist on the usual lighter game and boasts an extended appearance from one of the world's biggest stars at the time, Bruce Willis. Probably for the best that he only starred as a favour for his Pulp Fiction director, as the film was a spectacular dud. You could even call it a shit film for wankers, hashtag shit film for wankers. Number 7. Tom Cruise, Tropic Thunder. In a film already full of fun and over-the-top characters, Robert Downey Jr. take a bow. The surprise appearance of Tom Cruise as an obnoxious, balding studio executive was a delight, particularly as the character seemed so at odds with the relatively straight man roles we'd seen him play up until this point. Plus, the first appearance of Cruise's name was actually in the credits at the end, making it even funnier for those who either didn't recognize or couldn't believe it was actually him. Number 6. Walter Matthau, Earthquake. For those of you not up on 60s comedy or 70s disaster movies, Walter Matthau was a slovenly member of the original Odd Couple, and Earthquake was a movie made to tap into the success of The Poseidon Adventure, thrown into competition with the much more expensive The Towering Inferno. Walter Matthau was one of the most recognizable faces in comedy, and Earthquake was a film that needed some good word of mouth. So executive producer Jennings Lang, who was a friend of Matthau, offered him a small part in the film. What started off as a background role grew during production, and the actor even agreed to do the role for free on the condition he would be credited under a different name of his choosing. The name he chose? Walter Matuszanski. Yeah. Number 5. Kevin Spacey, 7. Throughout 7, the identity of the placeholder named Killer remains disturbingly unknown, and it's only when it fits into his sadistic plan that Kevin Spacey is revealed as the mastermind. This help builds the impact of David Fincher's film, with us never ahead of the characters themselves. Had Spacey's role in the film been heavily publicised, the blood-splattered reveal would have been a lot less impactful, as you have a strong inkling what the killer looks like. Originally, Spacey was going to have top billing on the film, but the actor vetoed the idea, understanding that the mystery of the killer's identity drove the plot. Instead, his name was completely removed from any material pertaining to the film, including the opening credits. However, the marketing trick had already paid off for the actor, as he didn't have to be involved in any of the press tours or junkets. Number 4. James Marsden and Famke Janssen. X-Men Days of Future Past gave us the biggest ensemble of mutants we've yet seen on screen, bringing back a plethora of old favourites. 2 characters no one really expected to see, however, were Jean Grey and Scott Summers, killed off almost a decade ago, which made it all the more delightful when the pair swung by in a mind-bending final scene. When Hugh Jackman popped up in First Class as a gruffer Wolverine, fans were delighted to see the old favourite, of course, but here, with both actors appearing in slight yet significant roles, it was a genuine surprise, as Marsden and Janssen's appearances were kept completely under wraps. Number 3. Boris Karloff, Frankenstein. Boris Karloff only played Frankenstein 3 times, but it's become his enduring legacy. It's not just the actor's reputation it dominates, but the entire public image of the monster. Although people will always point out how it's not book accurate, the image of a green-skinned, flat-headed, bolt-necked monster is what immediately comes to mind when thinking of Frankenstein. While Karloff's name was featured on the film's posters and trailers rather prominently, in the film itself, the identity of the actor behind the monster was kept completely ambiguous. In the opening credits, there's just a question mark next to the character's name. It just helps boost the realism and horror of the movie, a period equivalent of calling a found footage movie real, if you will. Number 2. Samuel L. Jackson, Iron Man. Sam Jackson is a cool dude, so it was a huge bloody deal when he popped up uncredited at the end of Iron Man. Back then, there was no Marvel roadmap, their cinematic universe was just getting started, and while it's true that Downey Jr. is also cooler than being cool, he got a tiny bit more coverage as the actor behind the man behind the mask, so you can understand why it boded well for the future when Marvel was so willing to get SLJ on board and hide him from the world. Ain't It Cool News did report on Jackson's involvement in the film a year or so ahead of release, but with the big actor's only appearance being in the end credits, and this being a time before post-credit stings were commonplace, early reports led to the rumours being downplayed, and it still ended up being a surprise for everyone. Number 1. Gary Oldman, Hannibal. Hannibal, the artsy but rather vapid sequel to The Silence of the Lambs, is deemed by many fans to be a waste of time, but it does boast an incredible villain in the form of Mason Verger. A vengeful paedophile wanting to punish Hannibal Lecter for what the doctor made him do to his face, he's a slurpingly disgusting character to watch with an amazing death scene to boot. Oh yeah, and that's Gary Oldman underneath all that makeup. Originally he wanted to have top billing, but the producers couldn't justify putting him alongside 2 Oscar-winning characters. Initially put off, Oldman came back with a totally different proposition. He gets no billing at all. The makeup would have him totally unrecognizable, so why not add to that effect by keeping the identity of who's underneath a mystery? And that's our list. Are there any we missed off? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You can even follow me here on Twitter if you fancy. I'm Ben from What Culture, and thanks for watching.